Okay, dear children, very good evening to all of you. Right, so as usual time we have come to your home, right? We'll start our discussion without taking much of the time, right? This is Southern Provincial Department of Education Mid-Year Test 2019, right? So this is the grade 7 paper, right? So I hope that you have more practice about writing answers for the question paper. So due to that, we'll start our discussion right now. Okay, right. Part 1, underline more suitable answer. Underline more suitable answer, right? වඩාත්ම සුදුසු පිළිතුර යටින් ඉරක් අඳින්න, right? Which of the following plant is non-flowering plant? Non-flowering plant. Idda is a flowering plant. Jack is a flowering plant, right? If you haven't seen the flowers of Jack, right, that is very small bit of white in color, right? White, greenish, right? Pale greenish color, right? Salvinia is one of the aquatic plant. There are no flowers, right? Atarolo is one of the flowering plant. So then answer is fourth one, right? Okay. Right. The second one, the group of plants which root system is adapted for vegetative propagation is, right? Root system is adapted for vegetative propagation is නේද? වර්ධක ප්‍රචාරණය සඳහා හැඩගැහිච්ච මූල පද්ධතියක් කියන එක. Right? So children, not banyan, kirala, beetle, right? Banyan, pandanus, we can keep it aside, right? And then we can cut down that. Jack, basically grown by seeds, right? And then breadfruit, curry leaves, we know, right? Slime maple, we don't know, but you know that exactly these are not the answers, right? Because this is having different ways that they propagate. So then children, breadfruit and curry leaves, two also available here. You know here Jack definitely propagate through seeds. So then answer we can get as 4, right? Okay. Likewise. Okay. So then children, third question. Which part of the flower becomes the fruit after pollination? Which part of the flower becomes fruit after pollination? Which part? Ovarian walls and ovary become fruit of this plant, right? So answer is first one. Okay. Answer is first one. Okay. Ovary. Right. Fourth question. Select the answer which contains only. Contains only. Eka vitarai. Monocotyledonous plants. Right. Paddy, chickpea, green grams. Right. We'll see. Here they are also asking only monocotyledonous. Right. Okay. So here green grams, right, they have dicots, right? And here children, peanut also having, that is also having here taproot system, that is also not monocot, that is dicot. And then coconut, maize and paddy, seems that all are monocotyledonous plants, all having, right, fibrous root system, right? Jack is not, we can cut down, right, that answer because of the presence of jack and breadfruit, right? Okay, because those having taproot, right? So then answer is 2, right? The second one, right? Devani එක තමයි answer එක, right? Okay. Yes. Right, okay. The fifth one. The positive terminal of a simple voltaic cell is, right? Positive terminal of a simple voltaic cell. That means they are asking simple cell. What is the positive terminal, right? You know, positive terminal is copper plate. Copper plate, right? Which is answer is first one. Copper plate. That is the positive terminal, right? Negative terminal is zinc plate. Negative terminal is zinc plate. Not carbon rod, not zinc plate, right? Okay. 6. The substance that dissolve well in water, right? Glucose, blue powder, condis. Glucose and condis, okay, right? Naphthalene ball, kapuru ball nandiya වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Kapuru ball, naphthalene balls, camphor balls, right? Salt can dissolve, baking soda can dissolve, but the presence of naphthalene ball, we cannot get that answer. Salt, sugar, wax does not dissolve. Baking soda, vinegar, condis. Seems that it is correct. Blue powder not dissolve well. Some of the parts going down, right? And then some are not mix well or dissolve in water, and then some granules are floating in water, right? Samahara kali pavena nilwala, right? And here baking soda, vinegar and condis dissolve well in water. Baking soda, baking powder, appa soda, right? Vinegar, vinagiri. Condis means, you know, are purple colored granules that we are adding it into water to wash out our wounds, right? Potassium permanganate වලට තමයි chemical name එක condis වල, right? Okay. Likewise. 7th question. This is not, right? Neither. නේද වලිගේ ගිනි කරගෙන වගේ නේද answers හොයන්න එපා. Okay? නේද? හොඳම calm manner එකකින් ඉඳලා answers හොයමු, right? This is not a plant with weak stem. Not a plant with weak stem. Right. Pepper is a vine. It requires a help, right? That's why the pepper and beetle is moving on substrates, right? Guava and winch bean also vine. Guava is kind of a tree, right? Okay, so then it does not need a help, right? So it has a, right, strong stem. මේක යහන්නේ not a plant with weak stem. දුර්වල කඳක් සහිත ශාකයක් නොවන්නේ. That's what they have asked, right? Okay. The animal which does not use water, as its respiratory medium is, right? Okay, animal does not use water as respiratory medium is, right? Okay, here you know children, Kelawalla is a fish, tilapia is a fish, right? So children, oxygen dissolved in water is used by aquatic animals, right? Aquatic fauna. These are fish, right? Right? Show here shark also kind of a mammalian, right? And then Diabaria, they can both survive in aquatic environment as well as terrestrial environment. So then answer is third one, right? They have lungs for their respiration and they can get that oxygen from normal atmospheric conditions also, right? Okay. නැත්නම් හැමදේසෙම දියබරියට වතුරට බහින්න වෙනවා හුස්ම ගන්නනේ. එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right? Okay. වතුරේ ඉන්නවා තමයි. Right. The color of pH papers present in laboratory is, right? color of pH papers present in laboratory is, that is yellow in color, right? But some are bit of orange, but not much orange, right? Godak dark orange ekak neme, light creamy or yellow in color, right? Light creamy or yellow in color. Answer is third one. pH papers wala color එක අහන්න. The color of pH papers present in laboratory is, right? Okay. 10th question. One property of water is the reason for using water to control heating the vehicle engine excessively, right? What is the property of water is the reason for using water? What is that? Coolant property, right? To cool down that radiator of the vehicles, we are applying water. Why? Because of coolant property, right? By applying water, it can remove heat out, right? Likewise. Okay. So, shall I scroll it down once again? Right, okay. All right. Okay, so then we shall scroll it down. Right. Now, piyamu pahalata. The energy transformation take place when winding clock operates is, right? Energy transformation take place when winding clock operates is, winding clock, right? So in winding potential energy, it converts into kinetic energy, right? So then what will happen? Winding clock then operates it. So in winding, it becomes potential energy and then finally kinetic energy, right? Okay, winding clock operates. Okay, right. A balloon was fixed to a mouth of the bottle and bottle was immersed in hot water. Immersed in hot water. මේ දුණු වතුරේ ගිල්ලලලු තියෙන්නේ this bottle එක hot water වල, right? Okay, hot water වල ගිල්ලලා තියෙන්නේ මේක, right? Okay. Immerse means gilwa. Gilwa, right? In hot water. The main reason for inflating the balloon is, what is the reason, right? Here, not expanding water, not expanding bottle, expanding air. The volume increases. Answer is third one. Okay, right. The air inside this bottle, because of the heat, the volume increases, right? Likewise. Okay. Select the correct diagram which shows an object placed in front of the plane mirror and its image, right? බලන්න අනේ මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. උඩයට මාරු වෙනවද? Does it change like that? No, right? Here. Not like this, because when we observe through a plane mirror, it should change left side and right side. මේකත් නෙමෙයි. That's all. Not like this. Here you can see left and right side change in answer 2. The instrument which produces its sound by vibrating strings. Vibrating strings. Which one? Sitar. Answer is third one. Sitar. Sitar. The most suitable mirror for dentists to observe teeth is, you know, we can observe large image, large virtual image of the object. So then we can use concave mirror. Concave mirror, not plane mirror, not convex mirror, not all above. Answer is first one. Okay. The energy processed by a nut in a tree. Nut in a tree. Energy processed by. Right? මේ බලන්න ගහක තියෙන nut එකක්. Right? So then that is potential energy. Answer is first one. Okay. Right. 17th one. This diagram shows a setup used to demonstrate formation of umbra. Select the incorrect statement. Correct statement select kalot. If you select correct statement, that is you are in a problem, right? Regarding it from the given statements, right? Okay. Here, umbra is formed due to not traveling light through the ball, right? Yes, that is correct. This is an opaque object. Through that, light does not travel, right? They are asking incorrect one. Mega hari. Incorrect එක අහන්න. Umbra is not cleared when the ball and the torch is very closer. Umbra is not clear. Yeah, we'll see. Penumbra is formed when torch is taken away from the ball. Penumbra is formed when torch is taken away where we have to bring this torch towards this ball. That's how we can see this penumbra formation on this ball, right? Because these light rays are scattered away when we take near to it. So that is the answer. We'll see this one. Penumbra disappears when the torch is taken away from the ball. Yes, that is correct. Penumbra disappears when we take this torch this distance, right? So then it increases the distance, right? And then umbra is not cleared when the ball and the torch is very closer. Yes, umbra is not clear, right? The clearance of umbra will reduce with the time when we are taking this torch towards this ball, right? So answer is third one. That's one the incorrect statement. Right, okay. 18th one. Which part of the compound microscope control the amount of light reaches to the specimen? Control the light is done by diaphragm. Diaphragm. Answer is fourth one. Diaphragm. Right. 19th question. A lighted candle is placed in front of a plane mirror. The features of the image is formed by it. Right? Lighted candle is placed in front of a plane mirror. The features of the image formed by the plane mirror. Not inverted, upright, 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 not real. Real image එකක් නම් අපිට screen එකට ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. We can get it into a screen. Inverted කියන එක නිසාම second we can cut down. Virtual, yes, virtual means unreal image. Cannot taken onto a screen. Equal to the size of the object, yes. Smaller than the object, it is incorrect. Answer is third one for the 19th question. 20th question. The gas in which avoids entering harmful radiation from the sun to the earth is, right? children, that is ozone. We have not discussed that lesson. We'll discuss it on coming weeks, right? Hopefully July, right? Okay, so then that is ozone. Because of that presence of ozone gas, we have ozone layer, right? Okay, විභාග කල් ගිහිල්ලා කියලා ආරංචියක් ආවා, right? Royal College also, they have, it is said that they have shifted their examinations up to 16, right? Then we no need to worry about that. නේද? ඒක විතරක් නෙමෙයි ගොඩක් ඉස්කෝලවල කලින් දාලා තිබිච්චව ආයෙ පස්සට අරන් තිබුණා, right? So then we have certain time at semi-government schools and then other private schools and international schools, no worries, because they are going to have the examination third week of July, right? Except some of the schools and their curriculums, right? And yeah, so then no need to be much of hurry, right? So then we can go smoothly, right? Okay. So then once again, I'm scroll it down. Okay, so then you can check your answers once again. Fifth one, sixth one, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one. Right. Right, okay, children. So we'll move with part 2. Part 2 will table. Right. Question number 1 is compulsory. right? Although you know all other answers for other questions, if you have not written right answers for the question number 1, then you are in a problem, right? ඔක්කොම දන්නවා වෙලා මේක ලිව්වේ නැත්නම් අනිත් කීයක් ලිව්වත් ඔයාලට මාක්ස් හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? Select any 4 questions from the other 6 questions and answer for 5 questions. First one compulsory, you have to select 4. First one compulsory, you have to select 4 and then altogether 5 questions, right? Okay. The list below shows several species of plants and animals identified by a group of students in field trip, right? The list below shows several species of plants and animals identified by a group of students in a field trip, right? Okay, so the first one, these are the plants: coconut, mango, banana, beduru, rampe, mimosa, cycas, grasshopper, rat snake, butterfly, squirrel, earthworm, right? Okay. Name the main 2 methods that the plants in the above listed can be classified. Main 2 methods, right? That we can classify these above plants. Coconut, mango, banana, beduru, rampe, mimosa, cycas. We can see 2 different groups as flowering and non-flowering, right? Name 2 methods that the plants in above list can be classified. Flowering, and non-flowering. ඔන්න ඔහොම බෙදාගත්තොත් පහසුයි. Non-flowering. All right. Write an example each for the plants which show characteristics shown below. According to the relevant characteristics, what are the plants? Stilt roots. You know stilt root having rampe, right? Rampe or rampe. Stilt root means roots arise from stem to give the support for stem. Root nodules available. Mimosa. That is scientific name. So due to that I underline that word since we are not using italics, right? Underground stem is there for underground stem is there for banana. Can you remember in banana I told you, right? There is an underground stem and here this one is pseudostem, borukanda, pseudostem. Real stem located underground. So then that is banana. Right? Underground stem එකක් තියෙනවා banana වලට. Right? You can write down those. What is the main difference between root systems of coconut and mango plant? Right? Okay, so then coconut and mango plants. Coconut plants have fibrous root system, right? Fibrous root system, and then mango plants have taproot system, right? Yes.
Teacher, for the first question, there are 2 methods.
Yes. Name the 2 methods that plant can be above list, can be classified, right? So they are asking 2 categories, it seems, right? Nothing otherwise, how we can divide these things, right? And then we have cycas, right? And we can divide these plants with the presence of monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous. Plants
yes,
likewise.
I wrote the non-flowering and flowering and monocotyledonous and dicotyledonous both.
Okay. So then, if you have written 2, so then no worries, you can get that one also. Then very purely like marks then a pramanama day. Okay.
Okay.
Is it okay? Right. Okay. So here, next one. What is the main difference between root systems of coconut and mango? Very easy. Main difference. Coconut has fibrous fibrous root system, mango taproot system, taproot system. Easy. Then balan හැමතිස්සෙම most of the cases, right, your questions are starting from your unit 1 and those are connected with most probably animal diversity lessons also, right? බලමු අපි මේක animal diversity තියෙනවද කියලා පහලට යන්න. Name the two main groups that animals present in list below, right? Main two groups. එතනත් අහන්නේ අර විදිහම තමයි. Just like that. Main two groups. Rat snake also there, butterfly, squirrel and earthworm. So basically, mainly we can divide them vertebrates and invertebrates. Presence of backbone or absence of backbone, right? So then they are asking two main groups of animals, right? So here we can write down vertebrates, invertebrates. Invertebrates. All right. Okay. What is the characteristic that used to separate them for about two groups, right? So then we can write down having a vertebral column or not. Having a vertebral column, having a backbone, right? Or presence of or absence of backbone, we can write down, right? We can write down having or not having a vertebral column. Vertebral column. Likewise. Okay. There are instances of obtaining advantages for animals due to blending their body and animal diversity connected here, right? There are instances, some places. Instances means sidhubi of obtaining advantages for animals due to blending their body color with the environmental color. That is, camouflage, right? Okay. What is the scientific word used for introducing this adaptation, right? So what is that? Camouflage, right? Camouflage, right? Method. Adapting their body color with the environment. Blend their body color with the environmental color of the environment. Right? One advantage obtained by animals from it. Right? One advantage obtained by animals from it. Right? And then for their protection. Protection from predators and as well as for supplying food for them. Right? For food and their protection. Right? For protection and food. Classify the plants: coconut, mango, banyan, mimosa, cycas using dichotomous key, right? Classify plants: coconut, mango, banyan, mimosa, cycas using dichotomous key, right? Right. අපි බලමු අපි ඉඩ තියෙනවද කියලා. Yes, certain space is available. Right. Coconut we have, mango we have, banyan tree we have, right? Mimosa we have, cycas we have, right? Okay. We'll write down first of all coconut, mango, banyan, mimosa, cycas, cycas. Right. Okay. So here we can divide it first of all. Presence of flowers and absence of flowers. අපි එහෙම බෙදාගමු. Right? Plants. Sorry. Presence. Plants with flowers. Right? And then plants without flowers. Right? And then plant with flowers, we can get coconut, mango, mango, banyan, banyan, right? And then mimosa, mimosa, right? Plants without flowers, we can get cycas, cycas, right? Cycas e පැත්තෙන්ම ගියානේ. Cycas. Okay. So then there's no problem with that side. ඔයාලා බෙදාගත්තු විදිහවලුත් ඇති ඈ. Right. And then we can divide this side. Right. Yeah. Have taproot. Taproot. Right. Haven't taproots. Taproots. Right. And then have taproots, mango and banyan. Mango, banyan, mimosa. Right? මම වෙන කාලයකින් මේ පැත්ත ලියන්නම්. Right? Haven't taproots, we can get coconut. Coconut. Right? Coconut. ඒ පැත්ත ඉවරයි. One has come under that නේ. Mango, banyan and mimosa, right? We can divide like this. මට මෙතන ඉඩ නැහැ. Right? Here we can write down have prop roots. Prop roots. Right? Haven't prop roots. Prop roots. ඔයාලගේ විදියවල් වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඈ. Haven't prop roots. Have prop roots, banyan. Haven't prop roots, mango and mimosa. Mimosa. Right? So then children, furthermore we can divide these two. Right? මම මේක මකනවා. Right? Here mango and mimosa, how we can divide? Have root nodules. Have root nodules. Root nodules. Haven't root nodules. Right? Have root nodules. Mimosa. නිදි කුම්භ වලට තියෙනවා මූල ගැටිති. Haven't root nodules, mango. Now finish. Right? Sometimes you may have different types of dichotomous keys. Right? Habbai, you know, we have to consider about, right? Their morphological features. What you can see in their body structure. Not color, behavior, right? Size and their gender. Right? I told you that what are the criteria that we shouldn't use this dichotomous case. Right? Okay. මේකෙදි පාවිච්චි කරන්න බැරිය මම කියලා දීලා තියෙනවා ක්ලාස් එකේදී. Color, size, behavior, right? And as well as gender or sex. Right? Okay. ඔයාලා හදාගත්තු විදිහවලුත් ඇති ඈ. Right. So children, for this instance, I'll just erase this part because so that I can move with the second question. මම මේ part එක මකනවා. Right? Children, we'll conduct our extra class only for this Saturday. Then we'll finish our correct use of microscope and sound. එදෙක ඉවර කරලා දාමුනේ. ආයෙ තව දවසක් අදින්න ඕනේ නැහැ. And then we can slowly start our biological process lesson. Right? Okay. ඒකයි atmosphere එක අපිට කරලා දාගත්තා ඊට පස්සේ. Right? So then we'll arrange that session because I scheduled that so that for your easiness and for our easiness of the question discussion also ned samahara questions එතකොට තිය තියන්න ඕනේ නෑනේ. Right. So then I'll just erase these things, right? Because I don't have much of the space to clearly identify the next question. For my easiness, I am erasing that. මේක නෙමෙයි dichotomous key එක ඔයාලගෙන් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? I know that we have discussed lot of dichotomous keys previous years also. That is not a very difficult task for you. Right? Okay. So then we'll discuss. This question number 2. This diagram shows, right? This diagram shows how a drinking straw rubbed with polythene membrane is placed on drawing pin which is kept on the inverted glass in a study of static electric charges, right? In study static electric charges, right? You can see that how we have placed drinking straw, right? Okay. So children, this is the drinking straw and this is the drawing pin and then this is the inverted glass, right? Okay. And then this drinking straw is rubbed using polythene membrane, right? Okay. What can be observed when similar drinking straw is taken closer to above drinking straw, right? What is happening? Similar drinking straw taken closer. Similar drinking straw means one of the another drinking straw which is rubbed by polythene membrane. Then what do you think? What will happen? Repulsion. Because like charges repel each other. Repulsion. Right? Okay. What can be observed when polythene membrane used for rubbing is taken closer to the above drinking straw? So here what is happening? What can be observed when polythene membrane used for rubbing is taken closer to above drinking straw? So that means instead of the drinking straw, we are bringing our polythene sheet. What will happen after rubbing, right? Children here, when it comes to this drinking straw, when we rub using polythene, what happened? Polythene get negatively charged, right? Because from this drinking straw to polythene membrane, electrons are jumping, right? And then because of that, drinking straw charged by positive charges. Then කලින් අපි කලේ another drinking straw rubbed by polythene membrane ඒකත් positive. So positive to positive repel each other, right? So when you bringing polythene sheet which is having negative charges, then what will happen? Those get attract, right? Attraction we can observe, right? Write the reason for the above observation in instance A and instance B, right? So what is the reason, right? Okay, we can write down like charges repel each other. Unlike charges attract each other. Okay. Likewise, instance A like charges, instance B unlike charges. What is the advantage of balancing drinking stone the glass with the help of drawing pin? Why we are using a drawing pin, right? Why we are using this drawing pin? Children, for the easiness of the rotation, right? What happen if we keep this drinking straw on this surface? Then bit of difficult. කැරකෙන්න බෑනේ මෙහෙම හොඳටම දිගා කරවලානේ තියෙන්නේ, right? So if we have small hole here with a drawing pin, right? So then it easy to rotate, right? Okay. Advantage of balancing drinking straw. Easy to rotate. Easy to rotate the drinking straw. Drinking straw. Right, okay. Right. Write the type of static charges obtained by each material when glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth, right? So you know that is a known factor. Glass rod always charged in positive charges and silk cloth charge negative, right? Glass rod positively charged, silk cloth negatively charged. Silk cloth negatively charged. Okay, right. Write an event related to static electric charges that plays in day-to-day life. Right? Okay. Right? What's that? Natural phenomena. Thundering. Thundering. Right? Thundering. And actually, rather than thundering, we can write down lightning. Ne? Lightning tamai enno. Lightning, not thundering. Lightning. Lightning. Right? Because of the movement of the static electric charges, because of the rubbing of the clouds. Right. Write one instance of using static electric charges. One instance. Photocopy machine. Right. In photocopy machines, we are using that. And then electronic circuit like television, radios, likewise. Right. We can write down photocopy. Photocopy machine. Television and radios also. They are, right? Okay. One instance they are asking photocopy machine also enough, right? But and painters, right? Electrostatic painters, right? What is the instrument that stores static electric charges, right? Static electric charges store in capacitor, 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 right? Likewise, okay. All right. මේකත් කතා කරමු නේ. We have time නේ. Yeah. Certain amount we'll discuss. These Okay, once again have a look about these answers. If you need to note down, write down. Right, okay. Right, this one. These diagrams show several sources of electricity. You can see, right? We'll see what are these things, Name the sources of electricity that shown as A, B, and C. Right? They are asking what is this A. A is dry cell. Right? What is B? B is dynamo. C is solar panel. Write separately the method of producing electricity by them. Right? Okay, so then here A generate electricity by a chemical reaction, as a result of chemical reaction. Right? B, how this B generate electricity? Right? So by movement or rotation. Right? By movement or rotation. Right? C, by sunlight. Right? By sunlight or solar energy. Okay.
Teacher, what time the class finish?
So after, wait. Yeah, so after this question we can finish. After these two questions, and then we can finish this paper next week, right? Okay. Right? What is the principle used to produce electricity by B? What is the principle? You know, children, electromagnetic induction, right? By rotating magnet and then cut down the magnetic field of a magnet by the coil of conductive wire, right? So that is called as electromagnetic induction. Induction.
Why didn't you answer for everything?
Okay. Write the energy transformation take place in production of electricity by C. What is that? Light energy converting to electric energy. Light energy converting to electrical.
Teacher, can't we say thermal energy?
Sorry?
Can't we say thermal energy?
No, not thermal energy. Right? not heat energy, right? Okay, so then light energy is there. By that light energy, some electrons can be removed out, right? So heat energy we can use in some of the right, some of the elements and some of the transistors and the silicon, germanium having LEDs, right? Diodes likewise, right? So then heat energy also there, right? So here energy transformation take place in electricity by C. Basically light energy converts into electrical energy, right? Okay. Form of energy transformation, one of what is the form that we use? Light energy. When there is no light, right, this wouldn't be happen, right? So due to that, this should be the transformation, not heat energy, right? That heat energy now keep solar panel in dark environment and then heat it, right? Can you remember our solar panel work under our normal LED, not LED light, phone light, right? Phone torch. So then phone torch also not much heating that light, right? Only that light energy used to convert this electrical energy in solar panels. Okay. During the 80 days, we can heat up solar panel. Right? Without light, we cannot operate solar panel because we need light energy to operate this one. Okay, not heat. Okay. So I think it's enough for today. You need to once again scroll down these questions and the answers. No, right? Okay.
No, teacher.
No. Right, okay. So I hope that this paper was very easy, right? Very easy one. Right. So children, I hope that it's enough for today. And you have an extra session on this Saturday. After that, we don't have extra sessions, right? So then May Saturday came past extra sessions May term right? Right? And then Sunday we have the usual time. Our biological processes lesson will be started on that day, right? We'll send you the few. I hope that we have uploaded it, right? Okay, so I'll check it and send it to you, right? Okay. So children, it's enough for today. I'm going to wind up here for a while. Thank you for logging. Have a nice week. Stay safe. Goodbye. Buddha Saranai and God bless to all of you. Bye. See you soon.
Bye, teacher.
Okay. You're welcome, dear. Bye.